And we're back for this VTC Game Changers upper bracket match 1. We were so lucky to have TSM and Dig today, and it is not disappointing, Mimi, because we are going into map 3 here, and all the action is gonna happen on Split.
Yes, I'm super excited for it. These two teams, they were close as could be. It was 13-10 in the first map, and that was TSM to clinch it out, take their pick of Ascent, and then 13-11 down to the wire for the girls of Dignitas to come into it and tie the series 1-1. And now, after we get to look back at what happened in that last one, Split will be the decider. And I know initially that your prediction was to go the way of Dignitas, and I want to ask, what are your thoughts coming into this one after seeing what TSM can do for 2 maps?
You know, I'm someone that doesn't really change once I pick my prediction, but I have to say TSM is showing tremendous skills here into the server. They're doing much better than I expected, just because I had just had to assume that Dig was a little bit more ready, right? But there's individual skills and the newcomers on the circuit, like Emily doing a lot of work, as well as Zoe, some of the players that we haven't heard a lot before, and Ari as well, just showing in big, even bigger, I would say, than Kat, which is the player that I thought was gonna really tear it up in the server. So I'm gonna have to keep going with Dig, but to be honest, Mimi, I don't know anymore. Like, there's a lot of great stuff coming out of TSM today.
I mean, it's been really close. I think TSM's coordination has been on point, and I think if we talk about Split as a map for them, I think it's one of their stronger ones. We saw how well that breach was working for them on the first map of Ascent, and they normally bring that back into play here. They also whip out a Sage. It's another map where they normally are doing that one duelist comp that we saw to great success. So I think that, I mean, the way that TSM have been playing, I think this is kind of the map that plays perfectly to that style of aggression, of set piece executes with flashes, and just kind of aggression with jet play. I think that works really well for them. But Dignitas, I mean, that was a fantastic showing on the last map, although it was still very, very close.
It was super difficult. They really had to chain the rounds back to back at the end of the second map. To be honest, I didn't expect them to win as many rounds. I really thought it was going to be a 2-0 at some point. But we are here, you know, on to map 3, as you mentioned. Ascent was selected by TSM, but it was a strong map for both teams. They're able to run away with the victory, but Dignitas coming back onto Evan. We now have a split, and I like what you mentioned about how the TSM, as the agent's pick, is really favorable in a map like Split, where they do a lot of aggression. They have a lot of map control possible with their abilities, and a breach on Split is one of my favorite agents to be bringing onto that map.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of creativity possible, and I think that's the main thing that TSM brings into the server. There's a lot of younger players that they're not, I mean, this is a new team. They just brought in a sub literally just a few days ago for this, and already Ari, she seems to be working into the TSM infrastructure perfectly. And for how little time they probably had to practice as this set of 5, I'm impressed with how coordinated, with how ready they are into the server, and it is kind of the setup for TSM that we were excited for, but Dignitas, they're also bringing the breach out. Juliana, she was doing great work on the Sova, but like I mentioned last game, she normally switches onto the breach for this. So I think that it's kind of mirror mode with how these teams are rocking it, but I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts coming into that? Because it is going to be TSM starting off on the attack, and I think that's where they can really chain something together and get going strong.
I think the integration of Juliana into Dignitas is going to be key here, because on her Sova, she was a lot more passive. She was always behind. As soon as the bomb site was taken, she would dip and get ready for that post plant. So what is a Juliana that doesn't leave the post plant looks like as a breach? I'm really, really interested to see it. And as we get right away ready on that Split, if you're just joining us, it is a 1-1 map on the scoreline. This is all happening to stay in the upper bracket of this VTC Game Changers. My name is Miss RV, and I'm joined with a evil cat. Also, I'm calling her Mimi because I like her real name. We're bringing you the action in the server as pistol round starts right away.
Yeah, immediately we're seeing the breach, the new man on the composition for Dignitas, into play. And here they come up ramp. Great setup, but the blinds go both ways, and Reigns are a little more efficient. Still, the breach utility getting thrown at them. Rain is holding tight, though, trying to fight them off, but Cap gets one onto Milk. Now A main still open. This Heaven fight conceded by TSM, but they don't have a smoke for Heaven right now. And Joliana takes that opportunity and uses it. Kath now coming into the backside and has the spike to be planted, but it's a 4-on-3 retake. However, look where Ari is. Great flank opportunity here to come back in. There's at least 3 TSM players in this position, or I'm sorry, that's a Dignitas rather, but with that, they take care of her. And now just the players on site left standing. Look at the health on them. They're sitting pretty, and they pull it to a 2v2. The health so low. Kath, another right click on for 4 as it's Rain left on the site. These 2 players playing it smart, playing it well, but now the teammate has been felled. Both players in close, and Kath cleans it up. 4 for her as TSM again take a pistol.
TSM Cat showing up. I think I'm gonna have to see. This is her first big clip and big moment of this BO3. I thought after Dig got the kill on Tiari, this round was closed in, but TSM Cat with the kill through the Omen smoke. We all saw it. I even reacted to it. What a display of skill set here, utilizing a right click, as you mentioned, a couple of times to get into these skills. I'm sure the TSM fans are really happy looking at this round. 1-2-0 for TSM on their attacking side.
Yeah, Dignitas are using those flashes to get some control down middle. As that happened, TSM, they've taken control of the B site, and since the changes to split, I love seeing what teams do with the opportunity of that new plant spot, because we see the Killjoy playing for main, and she can really easily just kind of lob nades in there to help it out. All these pistols for Dignitas. What can they do on the retake? Thus far, nothing too much. There is a right click. No, it's Rain to steal it away before Athena in main is activated. Spots out Joliana, takes her out of the picture. Athena out down towards Hell, trying to work on site, but there's a wall to block her off and block them completely out of the round.
TSM getting their second round on the scoreboard. It looked pretty easy for them. Dig not really contesting much. Only one player from TSM dying. It was Cat in the bomb site, but after a performance onto Pistol, it's okay. She can afford a better weapon coming into this round, and they're going to need it because we have 4 SMGs on TSM and only 5 SMGs crouch deck, as Cat is also going to be picking one up, and the rest of Dig is ready with big rifles. We have 4 Vandals here. I'm liking this. 4 Vandals on today.
I mean, the name of the game here for TSM is to just do damage, because you saw Dignitas are hurting a little bit. They have light armor on some of these players. If TSM can make an impact, that would be huge, but this round will be tough for them. Heaven Control this time found a bit easier than it was early on in this map, and now they're going to start to come out. Killjoy turret doing something, and Dignitas, the players on site, doing great work. That's Milk jumping up with a frag now over to the pistol to find Zoe as well. And as soon as the round started, Arya is now left on her own. They have suspicions that a flank is a possibility, but no one's holding for her directly. Here comes her opponent, the other Omen on the other side, holding close. And the smokes could lay some deceit, make them think she is elsewhere. No one's checking quite yet. Ari, I mean, she needs something for free here. She needs a free opportunity to make this an option. Can grab the spike. The spam not going to come through in time. And I'm not sure if they saw her heist. They did. They'll hear her run away, but she will get stunned. That buys a lot of time for Dignitas, and they're actually going to beat her up towards Heaven. Rain ready for this, but Ari wise to it. Teleports across, ready onto the B site. Spike will come down, and that's huge for TSM because she can't do anything else with that HP, but she at least gets that extra money in their bank, and like we talked about, they do damage to Dignitas.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Dig let Ari plant the spike here. Although, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's still pretty impressive that Ari made it all the way there, coming out of A to mid. But Milk here doing a lot of work for Dig. I can't believe she stayed alive, switching between all of her utilities and her weapons. TSM still has a lot of money. Maybe they're able to buy. And they're looking like they want to do something EVA here, as everyone on TSM is outside that barrier here.
Yeah. The A site has been an okay work for them thus far. The pistol round found success here, but the setup for Dignitas, they have so much Killjoy utility. They have kind of like that microwave setup with all the swarm grenades centered on the one choke point. And Milk peeks out the blinds a little too late to save Emily's life. Utility now raining out both ways, and the aftershock does great damage onto Thea. Bounce backing up for Milk, but the wall denies her the shot with the rocket. No frag to connect. I think she might have just seen the tip of Kath's head. That was the boom buddy, looking for a way in, but Athena has found herself onto the site and doubles down for 2 before Milk can find the refrag back in. Milk on the other side of the dark cover now, blinded out, has to fight, but can't muster a frag. Emily now from the side of the defender, spawn in screens looking for something. Oh no, Emily, that's unfortunate for her. Did not find anything, but Sholiana is doing what her fallen teammate could not, finding the crisp shots necessary. Look at where TSM is. They're isolated. They're separate. Sholiana taking flak, has to fight Ari on the site, but Ari's playing it so well. Tucked in close on the screen, but Sholiana still wins it. Only 10 HP to work with. She has to reload. And look where Emily is starting to dive onto the site. Sholiana ready for a peek, and Emily is just a little bit quicker.
That was a really tough retake to win for Sholiana, but she made it almost work. Unfortunately for Emily, is gonna get the final word, and TSM winning round number 4, 3-1. And Dignitas, not a lot of money to invest into this round, but I really like their heaven setup. It's unfortunate that kind of got really chaotic after getting that initial kill onto TSM. They were not able to kind of regroup and get set up for a retake. They just kind of fell apart here at that A-bomb site.
Yeah, they sure did. Now they're getting aggressive here. Great blind to set Milk up for a frag onto Athena. But as soon as they hear that push, they'll start to re-attack towards the B site. Killjoy swarms are ready, but Thea, she directly consumes the paint shells of Emily. Now the B site completely at the command of TSM. Zoe, though, she's holding in this smoke, and I'm interested that they're committing the resurrection. This is just a save, Steph. But they really want it. Question is, what can Zoe do from this position? Holds close, good for the first. Looking for another fight, but Milk has the refrag. TSM, they again find themselves down a player. Emily up top. In a great position to find at least one, but the time ticking away every second will favor TSM. Here comes the Rolling Thunder, and Dig up onto the site. They find the frags, and there's enough time. I question the resurrection.
Yeah.
But they did great there to find the round.
I was about to say exactly those words. You question the resurrection, but they're proving you wrong here with that Rolling Thunder retake investment. They had so much map control, and TSM not able to connect with the headshots is gonna lose that anti-eco. Great job from Dig. It all started with that pop flash out at A. That breach play by Sholiana showing she can be both a strong Sova as well as a breach. But we have 4 players on TSM ready with their ultimates, and they are on the attacking side. So we definitely have something special coming up into this round number 6. Mimi, I can't wait.
Yeah, we sure do. TSM a little lower on the buy. They're looking like they're trying to set up for a B split here. CM Elite holding close, a one-way deployed, so TSM are still taking this slowly, but look how many ults are on the board for them. They have a lot to work with here.
Yep. Yeah, and they're deciding to take this slow as they're on a pistol situation here, so maybe they are gonna keep it for next round too, as we have a Dig push. It's not really successful as Milk is gonna fall, even though she's the only one that got a kill. TSM getting a triple kill into that failed Dignitas push with revolvers. They will not need to use their utility heal here, Mimi. They're in a station where we have a teleport into the A bomb side. Spike is gonna get planted, and now Dignitas in a 2 versus 4 retake. Wow, it's gonna be a difficult one.
How did that fall apart for them? TSM, they were so ready for the push. They were ready to find the picks. And the individuals with the sheriffs had a lot, but I mean, with Dig's economy, it's looking like they might just want to cut their losses here. Not give away any more weaponry, not waste any more money in this anti-eco. And now, back to back, the teams, they trade anti-eco rounds.
Yeah, and Dig is not even gonna go for this. So great work from TSM. I have to call out a little bit of a mishap. I don't know if Dig got a little antsy here, or if they didn't expect TSM to be on a revolver safe, or they just completely missed their push. But they kind of gave that round away on a platter as TSM just was ready. It was a shooting range situation towards middle, and TSM is winning that round 4-2 here as we are buying into the next Dignitas enough money to bring a full weapon. I was about to say the word artillery, but I don't know how to pronounce this. Maybe I gave it a shot. But
it was a good attempt.
Successful.
Maybe next time we can have a French broadcast too, so we can put me out of my comfort zone for a second too as well. But over towards B main, TSM. I mean, it looked like Dig wanted to do something, but she really wanted the ult orb there to get Resurrection online, but that's not an opportunity for Emily, or she's not even close to get it at least a little bit closer to coming online. Because the last time we saw the Resurrection, I mean, that's what won them that first Thrifty round for Dignitas.
Yeah, that one time you question it, maybe don't question the players in the server.
I know, sorry guys. If you're watching this back, I apologize. But now for TSM, I mean, up towards mid again, no one's really broken contact quite yet, and there's a lot of space to work with here for the side of TSM. But what I like is that Dignitas seems to know this. They know what could be taken. They're playing passively in those positions, and Athena on her lurk trying to get her way up ramp to attempt to split A, but here comes a refrag from TSM, pushing in, Aftershock up, blinds from Zoe, gets the frag. The wall will actually divide them for a moment. Resurrection up from Kath, and Rain pushed back for a moment. However, the Resurrection, the giver of life herself, is taken again out of the picture. Here comes a rocket. It's good. Emily finds a frag, and now she's the last one standing. Spike not directly planted for her. She has a paint shells, but she has no life. Dignitas, through, I mean, a lot of utility, so much put into that round, they do pull it out.
Yeah, I really like that push down the ramp, that pop flash from our breach here. Getting that Athena kill was key here, I think, because they were able to get control. So when the players from TSM came up the ropes, were trying to do a split towards A, Dig was unfortunately for them ready, and Rain won so much time by being alive behind that box, behind that sage wall. We have our first tactical pause though of this game. Dignitas this time coming in with the win into this round, still utilizing their tactical pause. You know, we never know why exactly teams take tac pauses, especially after winning a round, but it's possible that they're running out of answers and they want to make sure that they don't want to lose this crucial round coming up, because as you can see, it's been a back and forth affair here. Rounds per rounds are being exchanged, and we're back watching that replay from Kat. I'm loving it, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, TSM, they had a great start into this, but I think the reason they're probably taking this pause is because they've struggled with anti-ecos, and this is going to be a bit harder because it's anti-force buy.
Yeah.
Emily and Ari, they've both invested up into weaponry, and in that department, I mean, Dignitas, they need to do something. They have some ults to rely on, but this isn't a round you want to use them. They need to start pulling things cleanly if they want to build momentum into this half.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. None of the rounds have been clean. It's kind of what happened on all three maps right now. Each teams really have a lot of trouble getting flawless rounds, which is to say it's the quality of these teams, right? They're head-to-head, and they're eventually keep mentioning it, but just in case you just joined us, the best first game out of this tournament to this upper bracket quarterfinals, and the pause is gonna be done here. Dignitas really looking a little bit better here onto their defending side.
Yeah, they seem to have found themselves a bit more into a position that they're comfortable with. Here comes a hit towards the B site. Remember to watch the players with the rifles. That's Emily and one other holding on to those. Rain now trying to spam through the smoke, the Phantom, but she'll be blinded away, and this execute is out very quickly from TSM, but Dignitas, they seem ready for it because they find two. Now the trade's coming back in, but the showstopper keeps them away. But TSM, they're forced to regroup, reassess the situation. Zoe has the Rolling Thunder. I don't know if she even is going to consider using it here. Already a push down mid. TSM, they're getting locked into this position. They have to fight their way out soon.
This round, I have to mention how great the paranoia coming out of Dig onto Rain. How good it was. She got paranoid herself. And then sent it back, really stopping the push from TSM. But as I mentioned, I thought it was a done deal for Dig, but it's now a 1 versus 2. It's a doable round for Zoe, but timer is running low, 20 seconds, spike down in the site. It's doable, but pretty hard.
Not gonna happen for Zoe there. And as you were kind of alluding to there, that's a round that Dig, they do win the anti-eco, but again, it's not clean. It's not what we wanted to see out of them. And they've finally been able to build up a little bit of bank behind themselves, a couple extra thousand on a few players. But TSM, I mean, they're still very close. If they win this, if they keep going back and forth, TSM is going to be in a good spot, finding this many rounds on the attack and setting themselves up for this success.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're going to go into a slower round here from TSM. As you see on the minimap, every TSM player is like splitted across the map, just holding their position. And Dig hasn't really been known for their pushes early into the round. They delay it like by a couple of seconds usually, and that's where Sholiana uses her breach and says, hey, let's take a little bit of intel towards mid, or let's take a little bit of intel towards A. And this time they're giving a lot of room for TSM to be working that middle. As they have, the
poor little guy just got absolutely removed by the aftershock. I didn't even know that could kill the guy. All right, sorry. It's a complete aside, but look what they're doing with the Sage Wall here. They're playing it more passive, so the second that Emily wants to make some stride, they cut it off immediately and force her into a situation where she'd have to go through an even worse choke point than usual. Killjoy Lockdown is used as bait towards A, but I mean, I feel like TSM have tried this a couple times across the series, and normally Dig doesn't fall for it, but it might not actually be bait this time. So out comes the teleportation. However, in mid, Dignitas, they're picking things up, and suddenly, TSM, they find themselves in a position where it's just 2 players left alive. Rain finds 1, and she's looking to double down and close it up.
Our first flawless round of this map, and I have to mention how you were saying that the lockdown fake hasn't been really working here for TSM, and just overall fakes are not really scaring Dig, but that lockdown pushed Dignitas to retake that mid and see if there was anybody there. And then TSM, I don't know if they were ready or not, but they were falling left and right without getting traded there right after the lockdown. So no matter if the fake worked or not, the Dig reaction to the lockdown was crucial for them to win. And I really like what I see. And it's not done deal though, even though we're in some sort of slow eco round for TSM. We're rushing in Evan, and we have so much map control, pushing all of Dig players back into their spawn.
Yeah, Thea, she's going to hold back. This is the right call because she has the lockdown if she wants to use it into this round. The B site is completely in the hands of TSM. Spike still waiting to get planted, but it should be able to come down soon. As Dignitas come over and get ready for this, they're actually going to start to push into defender side spawn. This means that it's going to be harder to use the lockdown. Here comes the Bucky. 2 frags from Zoe make it 3. The Bucky doing all the work necessary, but Milk still finds a response into this. Still finds a way back in, but they have this control into defender side spawn, and they even want to fight into heaven. Look, the flashes are ready. They're not giving Dignitas an inch. Everything is contested, and everything's getting taken care of, except for Sholiana and Milk, who are still in this, still alive. But a Rolling Thunder available for Zoe. She'll use it. That'll knock Milk off the spike, but she gets it half swing up. She's stunned, and Emily closes it.
What a round by Emily. Just overall, what a round by TSM. We mentioned it when they pushed back the players of Dig into spawn. I didn't expect them to want to do even more. That push coming in with the Bucky, as you mentioned. Getting that triple was so key. I just don't even know how it happened. And we have, fortunately for us, that replay of that Bucky push. Zoe getting 1, getting a second, and then just completing the demolishing of Dignitas CT spawn. Defender spawn old here with the triple kill. What a play coming in of TSM, which I think this is the second low investment round they bring versus Dig today on this map.
Yeah, $900 gun, by the way, guys. But here comes the push from Dignitas. Great blind there from Sholiana. And Athena taken care of. Now it's Emily. Rolling Thunder won't find her. And she still has control up in heaven, but a pinch in from Sholiana on the rope. Emily, she was so alone there, and she's taken care of, which pushes TSM into Thea. She has to find a frag here. She will. Good for one, and a trade back in. And Milky trying to fix the round up. Is this another 6-6 half possible, Steph? Seems pretty likely at this point.
It's yeah, it seems pretty likely. And like Dignitas so strong versus other weapons. Like, you have to see the way they're positioning themselves, the way they're trading, the way they're utilizing their teamwork here. I really like the way they're holding Evan. Once again, that hold from rope was from the rope push was so good out of Dig, and just really puzzling that they can't do the same versus revolvers and SMGs. But this one time is going to be a mix of that onto TSM. So let's see if Dignitas is able to win this one. There's a lot of ult, 5 ults across the board, so this could be a really interesting round, Mimi.
It sure could, and look at this push. It's again very quick up from TSM. Showstopper ready for Milk. She wants to take the fight here. Out comes the first contestant, and that rocket goes directly into the target. Now TSM, they have to reassess, reattempt into this, and they might have to pass through the field of sage walls. They want to go back towards B.
A little bit of a reset into this round. The momentum and the pacing paused as TSM, so much map control, but still not able to commit with that spike down. Eri trying to push the defender onto B to lose one of them, but Sholiana, crucial kill here, coming in back and forth, adding on to Milk's kill as well. Zoe, though, getting one and able to stay alive. Can she get another one? No, she's gonna fall, Mimi.
Yeah, now this is a tall order for Kat.
Yeah.
Lockdown in play. Resurrection, it would have to be the 1v5. She has to fight, and she can't do it. Dignitas, it wasn't flawless, but they bring one back, make it so. And for the first time this series, it's a half where we have a favorite going into it.
This is the first time indeed, and Dig is gonna be I was about to say 1 point ahead. It's actually 2 points ahead by just winning one round, or 2 points ahead, and we're swapping AF. Guys, if you're joining us, this match is 1-1. We had a first 13-10 in favor of TSM, as well as a 13-11 in favor of Dig. So this is a really close affair, a lot closer than I expected. Really thought Dig was going to be super, super solid as we head into the first half. Replays here in this Stream B broadcast. We're going back to that cap play. It was a 4-kill pistol, and it was just spectacular, Mimi.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And here's the Bucky again. I think that Dignitas might want to forget that one a little bit, because Bucky is just pretty wild in the right hands, and so he shows us why. Now, I mean, for TSM, this pistol round is going to be a very critical one for them. Like we just mentioned, we saw them win it in the first half, but both these teams, they've been blow for blow with pistols. No one is really a crazy good or crazy bad pistol round team. So this is going to be the momentum setter. This is going to be the precedent. But I want to talk about how TSM is playing this defense, because look where Sage is positioned. No one's really playing mid, besides an alarm bot and vents. So they're kind of gambling this towards A, and at least to start things off, Dignitas look prime towards the B site.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to pay off, though, because no one is getting ready to contest mid. Eventually, 1 or 2 Dig players here are going to go towards there. But that B push coming out of our TSM players should be pretty big for the intel. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a very fast rotate from A to B from TSM as we head into the end of this buy phase. 7-5 score line, first to 13. Remember that magical round and that fault line here, giving a lot of room for TSM to move up, but Zoe is gonna fall to Tia here.
Getting taken off pretty early in the round. We see the Sage Wall cuts rotations off and over towards the other side. Kath picks up Milk. So now this is into a 4-on-4. Kath still holding behind this wall. The TSM players, well, they're actually going to rethink their ideas. They will begin rotating towards B, as that is where Dignitas wants to take them. See Killjoy rotating into Heaven. Emily holding close, but is forced to reload.
Oh no!
And it's an awkward situation for Emily, as Sia finds her practically for free. Now TSM at a heavy disadvantage, one player down, have to try and retake this site.
Spike planted.
Spike is gonna get planted, and TSM is on a retake. 3 versus 4. It's gonna be a really difficult one. It's all gonna matter. Gotta depend if Ari can get the kill, and she does connect with one. TSM successfully getting the entry frags, but now it's a 1 versus 2. Ari, so much to do, but Emily in a really good position. Although she's gonna get fault line and dazed by her own friend, it doesn't matter because she won the round before. Maybe a little bit of a mistake here from TSM. That Emily push towards that B main. Seems like there was a lack of communication, because we heard these ropes. We knew that Dig was rushing down that B, so it was the perfect play for Emily to push, but she had to keep control of that B main instead of kind of like getting caught off guard with a knife out.
It felt like she was just a little indecisive, because it was clear that her initial idea was to go to main, but then the change came out from Dignitas. It might have been a little bit of panic, might have been a little bit of something to make her second guess, and that put her team in a situation that was tough for them. But I mean, I'm surprised with how few of these mistakes we've seen out from TSM, because it's a roster that hasn't worked a lot together. Emily's a young player. She hasn't had many showings in tournaments this big, so I'm surprised with how stoic they've been thus far. And TSM, they're trying to push down mid, but the blind is perfect for Rain to find the entry.
And they're trying to hold that fort at mid, but Dig utilizing their utility pretty well. It's going to push them back. But they still don't really know where they want to head to with that spike. It looks like they might commit towards a B take. 4 men there with a lurking player towards mid. And that lurking player might get caught off guard here. If Tia is not too careful, she's going to face 3 TSM members. Scratch that. They're going down rope, maybe. We're going to have a free bomb site for Dignitas here as they're taking over that B completely openly.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough for TSM.
Spike planted.
They want to find a way back into it. Thea in mid to cut off the rotations. She'll do good to find her double. Now Zoe, I mean, she wants the kill here to just do some damage, but I love the way Thea's playing this, not getting too greedy, not just playing for the frags, and at this point with how TSM is set up, they want kills. They're out of this round already.
Yeah, the paint shell really pushing Zoe back. Although they're trying to isolate Tia out. Like you said, she's playing this wonderfully, and it's all gonna be that potentially SMGs to carry on into next round. But no, Tia is standing still here. She's winning so much time for Dig. I mean, for herself, she's saving her own life and doing so much work. Milk is gonna fall, but wow, Tia, I'm liking this play. This is showing like she hasn't been as dominant onto Valorant as she has been in CSGO so far today, but this is the extent of the experience we need Dignitas to be bringing into the server. Like, she's not giving her life for free. She's not giving a weapon for free. She's making TSM work until the end, and she's staying alive until the end. No pun intended with the song.
You know, we talked about Emily and like some of these other young players, but Thea's kind of that young gun for Dignitas. She's played with them for a while, but she's another one of those kind of like younger players with really good talent. But I love the discipline we're seeing from her and from the rest of Dignitas. Yep. I mean, they're proving to us that they're a team that have worked together for a while. They know how to play off each other. And Athena, it's good to find one. The wall will close in her face, but by breaking that, she keeps a lot of pressure on Dignitas, and their push has been completely stalled. Sholiana for 1, Athena's still fighting, but the trade back in. Now Sholiana space towards the vents, and they'll try and book it towards B, but the rotations from TSM might just beat them here. Flash up into Heaven, Breach versus Breach in the exchange. Great nade from Emily to find Sholiana, and Milk. No spike in her control, and no shot in the round.
giving you a little bit of my Frenchiness here, as you say, Smike.
It's rubbing off.
Yeah, but that rotate from TSM looking great. I think that Dig really underestimated the fast rotate. You're making so much noise in a rope. 2 players from TSM were ready at that heaven site, throwing so much utilities and contesting that B take. So great round from TSM. If they want a shot at winning this map, they really needed to show a solid defense setup, and this is as good as any to get it onto the first kind of gun round. But Dignitas still able to buy, so it's not over until it's over. 5 players on Dignitas here onto that A bomb side. That one way coming out of Ari, kind of stopping Dig from taking control of that A ramp.
Yeah,
But they're gonna go am right now.
Yeah, it looks like that they're going to be kind of setting themselves up for a good position on this execute fault line up. She's stunned. Here comes Milk, though, but the blinds are continuing to come out each way. No one can see towards this backside, but Milk has a flank, and Ari doesn't expect it, but still gets the frag before she's felled by Rain. Now, there is the remainder of Dignitas holding on to the site. TSM just this lighter buy to retake, but Kath has a rifle. She's a big factor in this, especially with how Dignitas are positioned. Everyone except the player who just died is on the site, and they'll be bought time, but here comes the showstopper from Emily for 2, and Sholiana in the backline finds a frag, a second as well. She could still do this, especially with the rolling thunder staff. That won't knock Emily off the bomb, and it won't stun her either, but Sholiana still gets the pick. Now it's into a one-on-one. Very doable for her. Only 4 bullets, but how much does she need? It's halved. Not a lot of time, but she'll swing out, and Sholiana wins it.
We were in a review the whole time, so this is what you like to see, production. Sholiana displaying a beautiful round, leading her team with 17 kills. That was a difficult situation for Dignitas to be in, especially Sholiana. Someone was on the defuse. There's players everywhere, and we're fortunate to have a replay coming at it. So let's look at the first kill that she gets. She's now in a 1 versus 3. She's gonna get, in my opinion, the most crucial kill here, getting onto Athena. That rolling thunder is really just gonna work out into her advantage in that 1v1. What is there to say? After you've done all of this work, you don't want to lose to a full defuse. And Kat here falling to Sholiana's 4th kill of this round. Wow.
I mean, she just did so well to isolate the duels, and that has huge implications for Dignitas as well, because especially as they find the entry into this round, it could be 11th. They've built so much momentum. TSM, they were always close in, they were always trading rounds, but for the first time in a while, it's Dignitas all across the board.
Yeah, this is really I like to say, a kick in the nuts. I think it's even funnier on the VCT Game Changer. But this time, Dig again coming in with the entry frag. Emily doing her best to stop that rush. She's joined by Zoe behind the pillar. There's gonna successfully stop it as all of TSM Dig, is gonna regroup towards middle. And they're trying to take this A bomb site pretty fast with that tremor onto Kat. That fault line onto Kat. She is dazed, but she still gets the kill onto Tia.
Yeah, she has
I
a
don't know
chance.
if this was the play, Mimi.
She has a chance for more, too. The fact that she's into a 2v2, this should have been a freebie for Dig. And now this has gotten very close. 19 seconds, they need to get that spike down after shock in play, but it shouldn't be able to deny from where Rain is planting. Emily has a Guardian on the retake, full HP in the bank. And I believe there's a little bit of breach utility left, but look where Sholiana's gone. Up into heaven. She was a hero last time, and she might have to be again. First frag for Sholiana. That's the breach, and now she's supporting Zoe. Stunned. Swing, though, not coming out. Zoe has to do this on her own. An important round. TSM around the pillar. A dance of death. And she has to take the fight in close here. A lineup, good for 1. Looking for the second time. Still taking away. Zoe needs this. And she can't find it. Rain again keeps Dignitas rolling.
What a beautiful run again coming out of Ding. I really like that 2v2 setup with Sholiana up in heaven. TSM kind of losing a little bit of their spark into the second half. We have to wake up if we want to win this map, TSM fans must be saying in chat right now. But look at the weapons we're using. This was a really beautiful rounds on TSM earlier into this map when we had these shotties in place. So who knows what's going to happen? But we're looking at a tie point from Dig, and TSM wants to bring us to tie point because they're not buying this round.
No, they're not. No. Emily wants to get aggressive. I mean, let's not underestimate the Bucky. You've seen it do big things thus far, but that might be a far cry. Maybe not, though. Athena, great entry onto Milk, and now that allows her to have the lockdown. Being forced to cancel, but the resurrection is through. An exchange of ultimates will still keep Dig favored in this round. They're reassessing the situation. The decision is to work towards mid, but Emily's here with a Bucky. Now she recovers a rifle. TSM, they might just be able to make this work. They have so much control, and Dignitas is forced up against the wall. Emily still kicking it in the sewers. The Bucky from Zoe pushing out. Emily still a nuisance. Nade coming out. It just has to be Sholiana again to clutch versus 4. The dark cover will keep her away from the spike. Emily on top of the frog. It's a perfect crossfire. And with just one flash, what can she do here?
Not much, but every kill is going to be good because TSM's money is not that great. So that fault line here, just trying to win her sometimes as she get caught. He had a dark cover. She had flash catching 3 TSM
Oh, she has Rolling Thunder again. This is possible.
For this.
It didn't catch Ari, though, but she still gets the frag. Sholiana, no way she can do it twice. They know that time is on their side, so it's a mad dash away from Athena. She doesn't want to fight here because she knows the plant has to be possible. Time, though, 5 seconds on the clock. She has to get the kill. Sholiana has to fight the Bucky in hand, and the frag can't connect. Athena keeps TSM in it.
Mimi! How? She didn't have the spike. The spike was down in middle. Sholiana, the only way she could have won this round is by rushing Athena. Sure, Athena doesn't know that, and I'm speechless. Sholiana had her back, and unfortunately can't connect on potentially the easiest kill of the 1 versus 4. If I'm TSM, I'm trying to pause here, and I just need a breather because what a crazy round. TSM needs to be playing these eco rounds needs to be playing these gun rounds just the way they just played that eco, though. So many things happen. No time to address everything as we head into a Dig save round here as they're taking a free A bomb site. Wow, Mimi!
This is...
I don't even know what to say here.
Yeah, let's reset a second because it is a save round. It is a save round for Dignitas, and TSM, they're hoping to have better odds here, but Sholiana, she is a menace right now, doing everything for the team. Paranoia is good, but look where the Omen is teleported up. Great crossfire from Rain, finds the first, catches Cath off guard as well. That's the resurrection back into things. Milk stunned, killed as well by Emily. And the Rays, you know, while we were watching everything towards ramps, we'll just do a nice little cleanup to remove Dignitas from the site. TSM, all thanks to that eco win, have gotten this up to a 3-round deficit.
I'm loving to seeing Sholiana perform here because we've never really seen much of her on the Dig side. When they were playing Counter-Strike, she just had joined the team. She never really was able to play with a good ping, never really showed what she can do. And today, this is potentially the first time she can really explore all of her skill set by being on the team for as long as the other girls has been on to Valorant. You know, she's been there since the beginning of Valorant. So what a great showing today from her. But crucial round coming in. Guns versus guns, as in really big rifles here. Dig stopping the initial TSM push, but it's not going to stop Emily and her breach to take that B main control while the rest of Dig is playing around middle.
This is exactly what I want to see up from TSM. What works for them is when they get aggressive, when they can fluster Dignitas, force them to make a play, force them into a situation where they need to clutch. And, well, Dignitas has been pretty good at that, or at least getting it close. That's what TSM works best in, when they are in control of the pace. Now they're a little more passive. Athena set up towards heaven, just some swarm grenades. Still, no one's really pushing. No one wants to commit. And the stun keeps them at bay for now.
Seems like both teams are feeling the pressure of the moment. No one wants to do the mistake first. No damage has been done, and we're only 40 seconds left into this round. TSM on the defending side has still control of both bomb side. Only a little bit of a lurker down onto mid with Rain at Dig. The rest of the players are trying to get to A, but TSM has that read because they just cleared B main. Cat is gonna find the first kill, but gets traded. While Aria in the side gets another. Dig is really gonna have to work if they want to win this round.
Look how little is left on the clock. They have to push in. And Ari's still on the site doing work. They don't have time to plant at this point. The perfect stun. That just won the round for TSM. They don't even need these kills because TSM will find 9.
Great fault line coming in right at the end to daze these Dig players. Mimi, I was mentioning it. It feels like really both teams don't want to be the first one to make a mistake. And that led to potentially one of the first time we had a full exec into a site without any disruption towards mid. So here we are. Dignitas here is gonna be looking really, really tough with the money, but they decide to commit here, which they should. 3 rounds in a row for TSM. 11-9 for Dig. Couldn't be a better game. I'm excited, maybe.
I am too. I mean, think if you're Dignitas, you're starting to get that feeling where you're not playing to win anymore. You talked about this previously, where you're playing to stay alive, where you're playing because you're nervous. And I'm afraid that that might happen to Dignitas if TSM can keep building momentum. Still though, Dignitas had that huge economy built up. They have a buy in this yet. And they can keep going. But they need to find something soon if they don't want to let TSM slip a chance back in here. Over towards B is again the posturing for TSM. They have that flash out. Dignitas in wait. Here comes the Killjoy lockdown. And this will open up the site, but look at the utility usage from TSM. They're kept at bay for now. Being down in the vent has 2 presented. 1 at least. Great damage onto the second, and even though she doesn't get that kill, the damage is humongous for Dignitas. And now they're trying to go back into A. They don't have to commit. Still 40 seconds on the clock, Steph.
Yeah, and they have completely control of B bomb side here, but it doesn't matter. They decide to go A. As you mentioned, 30 seconds left, but Ari is still into the A bomb site, and she has the intel. She just spotted the spike, so TSM is not gonna fall for any kind of fake, but the fight is happening into the defender spawn. Ari's still alive into that bomb site. Spike is coming in, but 10 seconds left. These rounds are down to the wire as Dig connects with the 2 players. Emily, though, falling, leaving Athena all by her lonesome. 2 versus 1. She's not able to connect, and Dig is gonna get round number 12. Match point. Not only match point for Dignitas here.
TSM, they've looked so good throughout that round even was looking like they could win it. They had time down to the wire. It was almost a recreation, but this time Ori doesn't have enough time to buy. She doesn't have enough impact to keep them in the round. Now this could risk TSM falling down to the lower bracket. Dignitas, they're on the cusp. They're ready.
They are ready. Can TSM shut either of the bomb side down? That dark cover is the only thing stopping Dig from getting to that bomb site, as TSM is completely giving it up. So Ari needs to stay alive as that rolling thunder is gonna really help Dig get confidence coming into this bomb site. But look at what we have on our minimap. Almost all players are ready towards B. The spike is gonna get planted, and we're in a retake situation for TSM.
Yeah, Sholiana in main holding in this dark cover. You see the 1 frag going for TSM, so they have advantage in the retake. 1 in hell holding close. The nade finds a frag, but so does Milky. And Juliana adds in before Athena manages to take care of the raise. So into a 3-on-2 now. Showstopper available for Emily, and she'll get a frag with it. There, that connects. And now it's just Sholiana, but who else but her to close this out? Blinded away, stuck in main, holding on the spike. And no matter what she can do, she's stunned, getting absolutely harassed with utility, and can't find it. TSM, they are in this yet, Steph. Overtime, just 2 rounds away.
We're still in this game. If we're a TSM fan, as you mentioned it, 2 rounds away for overtime. All 3 games going double digit for both teams, Mimi. This is down to the wire. Sholiana doing so much work. 27 kills while on the TSM side. Emily with 22. quite an impressive showing. Let's see what TSM wants to do here. The spike is down, so looks like we're going for a more like a default, waiting for a push here for Dig. As we're gonna take B control. It's been working well for them, so they want to keep pushing that garage out. Really not allowing Dig to get ready for a B split.
I want to talk about Emily in general and how well she plays together with Zoe. These two were on teams before this. They've been a duo that have worked together for a long time. Well, the team is new. They still have that synergy, and I think they play off it really well, especially when it's like the breach raise combo. And it's worked well for them thus far. Dignitas, they're still being slow here, still waiting out in mid. I'm interested to see that TSM have decided to keep Kath on the judge for this round.
And that wall is going to come up, allowing Dig to go into rope room. We're going for an A site again, but this time with the Evan take.
Yeah, the wall will keep them away. And this is why Kath kept the judge, because she's really trying to hold on to the vent position. Close angles favor here. They won't fight it just yet. If they teleport up on top of the wall, there will be. So this time, be Heaven. The play for Dignitas. TSM, though, they get an entry from Emily, and out comes the hit really quick from Milk. She takes flak on the way up and over. Athena down low finds one, but Dignitas there picking up 2 frags. 10 seconds. Spike initiated, and TSM, they'll be relegated to a retake. The nade from Emily finds one, though, so a 1v1 for the game. Kath, Thea, opposing sides, opposing ends. Kath just the judge still. She wants to upgrade and hold on, but look where Thea is. Planking through Heaven. This could be the end of TSM. Kath holding the spike to half. She's holding on to this. Will Kath come out? No, she won't. It's Thea to close it out in the closest possible affair. It's Dignitas for the 2-1.
The 2-1 winning both their maps 13-10. The winners of this first upper bracket game onto the B stream is gonna be Dignitas versus TSM being knocked down onto the lower bracket. But what a great display of Valorant.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that it had to end this way. One team had to lose, one team had to win, and TSM needs to pack it home, and they're gonna be playing on the lower bracket potentially today, I think, Mimi. I think the first round of lower bracket is happening today.
Yeah, I think that's the third game on this stream. So they're still they're not out of the tournament just yet for TSM. They have the chance for the lower bracket run, but this is a team that a lot of people were really excited about coming in. I was myself, and I mean I was the one who predicted them coming through 2-1 here, but by the closest possible margins, Dignitas knocked them down. So they'll have to make that Cinderella run. Want to stay alive if they want to keep in this series. But I want to really congratulate Dignitas there, because I think that after kind of falling short a little bit in that first map, they really stepped it up. It felt like the team was just on something once we got into this, especially this last map.
Yeah, and Dignitas is one team that you can always count that they will not give up. And today, once again, they did not mental break, if I'm gonna say, even though TSM was winning anti-ecos versus ecos on top of ecos here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough for TSM to win this matchup. But Mimi, we almost got our first upset of the day, but Dignitas was coming in from upper for a better seeding, not upper bracket, excuse me, a better seeding, and they're gonna be leaving this matchup with the upper bracket win, which means they're going to be playing on the other side of that bracket. Either, I'm going to say, the winner of the CLG Red game as well as the winner of the Cloud9 White game. Super exciting tournament that we have so far today. Let's look at the stats real quick. Sholiana, 3.2 KD, 300 combat score. Although it looks pretty good for MLE onto the TSM side. I thought she was gonna fall off because her Sova was so strong onto Dig on the other 2 maps. She showed me, hey, it doesn't matter if I play Sova or if I play Breach. I know my characters and my agents.
I want to give it to Sholiana. I think that she was really the X factor that probably made Dignitas win this game. In in something that was so close that when it was down to a 13-10 on the last map, when it got as close as it did, some of those individual performances can change something, and some of those like big plays that affect mentality of another team can as well. And I think Sholiana's 4K clutch there was so huge. That was what got Dig back feeling it. They were like, okay, we got this. Like, you can imagine the comms after that, how hyped they must be, how ready they must have felt. And then they closed out the game pretty shortly after that. So Dignitas, and especially Sholiana, the girls had a great showing today.
She almost did it twice.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I can't believe she didn't win it at the end with, if you can't remember, the back turn out of Athena. But still, it didn't matter if she lost that round, because we have now our winners, first winners of the day. But it's not over today. The next games are going to be coming up. Mimi, if I'm looking at my paper, we have Moon Raccoon Black versus Watch This coming up after this. Are you excited for this matchup as well?
I think that's gonna be another really important one to watch. I think Moon Raccoon's probably the favorite coming into that, so it might not be as quite a close an affair as that, but I still think it's a fun one to watch. So that one, I think we probably have a schedule to pull up in a second, but that's the one that'll be continuing on the B stream after this. I know the A stream, that first game wrapped up pretty quickly in Cloud9's favor, and right now it is CLG versus Awa Awa going on over there. So if that's more the game you're interested in, that's an opportunity as well. But I mean, I guess as we start to close out here, what would you like? What's next for Dignitas after that run? Because moving forward, they won it, but is there any kind of changes that need to be made? What do they need to change, if anything, to go forward to keep rolling in this upper bracket?
Yeah, I think they need to check out their attacking side when they're getting pushed, when they can't get to a bomb site and execute, when the defender are disrupting their strategies. I think that's where they've struggled the most, especially on Heaven. It was pretty clear they didn't have an answer against TSM's pushes. We're trying to get an interview from Emily as we speak, but I have to say that Dignitas in their experience throughout the years, they've always been a little slow team to start here. The early brackets, they often lose a map and just struggle to get in. But once they're at cruising speed, this is a team that can really make a lot of damage into the end of these brackets. Look at this. We have on the A stream C9 winning versus the Frogs, and coming in, okay, so sorry, I stopped talking because there was a really good stats in my here. They only lost one round. Is that what I heard, Mimi? Throughout the first VO3. Okay, that was crazy. Crazy stats.
Yeah, I think people had C9 White as one of the favorites coming into it, but that's very impressive. Let's say a 13-0 and a 13-1 for them. I want to know who will stop them. My question is, do you think that the Dignitas we saw today, do you think they have a chance against that really impressive opponent of Cloud9 White?
I don't think they have a chance if they play like the way they play today, but I think they have a chance because Dignitas overall always has something in their pockets, and this is going to be the first time that they face each other since Dig has been practicing VALORANT almost full time. So the Dig that we saw in the last Innection series is a completely different Dig that we saw today, and it almost got upsetted by TSM, but not enough to see a TSM C9. It's going to be a C9 Dig, and I think that we are ready for the interview. We're going to be joined by Emily as soon as production says that we're ready. But on the other bracket, the matches, CLG as well as Maroon 5. This is every time I want to say Moon Raccoon, I see Maroon 5. Okay.
It happens.
Don't worry about it, chat.
All right.
You can laugh. It's okay. The Maroon 5 is also going to be happening a little bit after. But as we are setting up, I'm really excited to talk to Emily. These interviews with the Dignitas girls are always fun to see. They've been around for close to a decade now as far as the competitive circuit is, and they've had the core 4 for years, and now the core 3 for almost half a decade. So really excited. Lots of fans in the chat as well, so stay tuned while we get ready for this interview. Mimi, what do you think is next for Dignitas coming into C9? Do you believe in that matchup?
I think that they need to clean things up a little bit because I think we had great things. If there's the Dignitas room split where these individuals are popping off, where they feel confident when they're going, that there might be a chance. But still, the way that Cloud9 White have been playing, I mean, there have been a plethora of like 13-0 single digit. Barely anyone has taken a significant amount of rounds off of C9 White in the qualifiers, and for good reason because they're an impressive team. They won the For the Women's Showdown. They got signed there. They're like kind of like when you think of women's teams in Valorant, they're probably the one most people think about because they're the longest running. But like you mentioned, Dignitas are storied too. They have so much experience in Counter-Strike. They've been practicing this game for almost as long as those girls. So I think that if someone has a chance, it might be them, but it's going to take a pretty big performance, and I think it's also going to have to take something creative. Like they have to throw some kind of curveball, get Cloud9 White off their game in some way, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah, and I remember, I played Cloud9 White during the Inniction series in the finals. The only time that I saw Cloud9 shaky is when you were starting to get rounds after rounds against them. They're a new team. All of them are inexperienced players. So it's also possible that their mental fortitude as they are coming into these games, they've never really been a challenge. So to see potentially a Dignitas challenge them and bring a lot of rounds, we don't know how deep Cloud9's mental fortitude is, but I have to give them props. They're looking great on the circuit. They're definitely the team to beat this weekend, and it's actually going to probably be an upset if they don't win the whole event. We are having a little bit of tech issues here with the interview, but we are still trying to make it happen, so bear with us before we head into this second matchup. I want to talk maybe about what I saw coming out of Milk. Milk and Raze onto Split. It was really impressive to me. She was getting so much room. She was doing so much work with her utilities. And I want to see Dignitas really capitalize on the room that she's doing, the entries that she's getting, because she was looking really solid today.
I mean, I think that Milk, she's a very direct comparison to Emily in that she is just like the massive space maker for the team. They run the exact same comp for Split. And what happened was that I feel like the aggression just worked a little bit better for her in that she was always getting set up with the Raze, with the Breach. I heard myself for a second, but we're getting set up to kind of get that together and find that momentum, finding those early frags into the site. And when you have a player like that that's always setting your team up for success, and in those post plants, when Dignitas almost always found themselves up in an advantage, it was really tough for TSM to find a solution.
Yeah, it was tough because there wasn't really any weak links onto Dignitas. As a team, as a whole, sometimes there was weaker rounds and stuff that we expected potentially to show up a little bit stronger versus a team like TSM was just starting together. But there wasn't a player that was really struggling or dragging a team down. And as you may or may not know, all of these players, in my experience, are showing up into other events in Counter-Strike. And today in Valorant, different players showed up and made a lot of presence, and a really good case for Dignitas to go really far into this tournament. But I'm impressed by TSM still. I thought they would be a little bit rougher. I thought that, the issues with the players that they got from the last event, as well as just being a newer team, scrapping some players together to make this work for this first VCT Game Changers event, was gonna be less impressive, but they've been doing great, Mimi. And even though they lose and they are getting knocked off into the lower bracket, there's still a lot of great things to promise. I wouldn't be surprised if they make their run throughout the whole lower bracket.
Yeah, but with that, unfortunately, we weren't able to get Emily in here. Just some issues with the internet or something, unfortunately. So with that, I think we're going to have to throw it to a break. That's it for the first matchup, but stick with us. We'll be back shortly with CLG and Awa Awa. Thanks. Not CLG.